In this season, we show you some of the hottest design hotels from around America and abroad. From cool urban retreats to luxurious country estate living. This is a design travel show like no other. Welcome to Hotels by Design. Our ByDesign team of industry experts have done the hard work for you, so you can choose your next design vacation destination.
Hotels are the third place. It's where we now go to live, work, and play. And so for designers, and I think all designers now that are really at their A game, are bringing that to the table.
Let's get started with our first design hotel.
The Cameron House is this historic, beautiful property. And what's interesting to me is that they've managed to modernize it. And it's very contemporary, it's very sophisticated, but yet it still really honors the original history of the building.
This is Loch Lomond. It's 24 miles long and I'm told 2 big bends deep. And the hotel that we're going to is on the banks of this loch. Pretty exciting.
Hi Mike, great to see you. How was your flight?
Oh my goodness, what an experience, amazing.
All the way from New York as well?
Yes, on this plane, my private plane.
Welcome to Cameron House on the bonny banks of Loch Lomond.
Thank you.
Let's take a walk up to the hotel and we'll show you what we've got on offer for you.
Okay, thank you. I understood about half of what you said there, Douglas. Hello.
Welcome to Cameron House.
Thank you very much. Wow, it's so exciting to be here.
Oh, well, it's taken on many guises, this lobby. So it used to be much darker, but since our refurb, we've had it completely changed. It's much brighter. And then we've had Scottish stonemasons that have changed all the cornicing back to when it was originally built in the 1700s.
Now, I understand the same family has owned this house for over 200 years.
They have. The Smollett family have owned it since the 1700s. And in fact, Tobias Smollett was a famous writer and novelist at the time, and this was one of his favourite rooms. This is our library, with an amazing view of Loch Lomond.
Ah, wow, look at that wallpaper.
You will not be able to afford this. This is £800 a roll.
Wow. And it looks it. This is all part of the refurbishment.
It is.
So what's Cameron House been over the years?
So in the 1700s, it was a baronial home, so a stately home that the family lived in. And then a few hundred years later, it then became a bear park.
A bear park?
Yeah. The Smollett family brought in 80 different kinds of bears and people paid to come in. In fact, my family brought me in as a wee girl.
Okay, you came to see the bears.
Yeah.
How peculiar. And then the bears left and it became a hotel.
Yes. So the main beautiful building that they're in just now was the hotel. And then through the years, we've added a Cahoon wing and a Lomond wing.
Okay, now CJ, your job here is to look after VIPs.
I do. Mike, I've got the most fun job. 14 years I've been here, very historically, and don't make a comment, Winston Churchill came here.
Before your time.
My time, Mike.
Yeah.
We've had Michael Jackson, we've had Tony Bennett, the famous singer, but more recently, we've had the Climate Change Conference, which was based in Glasgow. We had world leaders all over the place, including Barack Obama, and also Leonardo DiCaprio. On one night, his friends and Leonardo went to the Great Scots Bar, and this is more than just a wee dram. He spent £10,000.
On Scottish whiskey?
Just on whiskey.
Well, this is nice. You can come out on the loch.
You can indeed, yes. The boat we're on at the minute is called the Celtic Warrior. We offer 1-hour tours to guests and to visitors as well. We've also had the likes of Cameron Diaz and the Hollywood legend Clint Eastwood on board as well.
Oh, wow. And there's a lot of islands in the loch, isn't there?
There is indeed. A lot are sort of privately owned, a lot are owned by the National Park, and our deckhand actually just downstairs, he's part of the McGregor clan, which actually have a historic gravesite on one of the islands.
So what's that ruin over there?
So that ruin is the Inchmount Castle, originally built for people to see out the plague, which was sort of rife through England and Scotland. And to be honest with you, I couldn't think of a better place to sort of see out the plague than on a private island. And
In the fresh air of, of the loch.
So another interesting fact with Loch Lomond, it's basically where the Highland fault line's located as well. So a good visual representation of that is Connacht Hill. So everything to the left-hand side of Connacht Hill is officially the Highlands, and everything to the right-hand side is officially the Lowlands.
Okay, so on the right, you're taking the low road. On the left, you're taking the high road.
Exactly.
I've always wanted to say that. Vicky, I feel like there's a whiskey tasting session about to happen.
I think there might just be. We are in Scotland after all.
We are in Scotland, yes. And actually, I do feel like you can come to this place and almost do Scotland just on this property.
You really can. Did you know that on the 14th tee, you can actually have 1 foot in the lowlands and 1 foot in the Highlands simultaneously?
Oh, wow, because the fault line runs right along the 14th.
It does indeed, yeah.
Okay, and then there's eating and drinking.
Which we love to do in Scotland. You know, we've got a wee whiskey tasting coming up, but we have so many outlets here. We're very focused on all of our guests that come here, you know, family friendly, business people, the rich and famous.
And talking of famous, then there's this bar.
The Great Scots Bar. Now, it is called such because, as you can see on the walls, we have lots and lots of famous faces, all Scottish. We have had a few famous faces come and stay here, and they've been a little bit upset that their faces have not made the wall. But, you know, they're not there. We're very, very fussy about who we put on those walls.
Oh, ouch. And of course, this is where DiCaprio had his big night.
Yep, it is indeed, yeah.
Which brings us back to this.
It does, yep, absolutely. I've selected a couple of whiskies today. You know, you come to Cameron House and you rack up a 10 grand bill in whiskies. Yeah. You're not going to be buying this particular one. You're going to be starting off probably with your Port Ellen 1979 at £600 a nip.
Not for the bottle, but for a nip.
A nip.
£600. Oh, I can't afford to touch that one.
Nope. And then we've got the Dalmore, which is a 25-year-old whiskey, and that comes in at £200 a nip.
Oh, almost affordable.
Yeah. And we've got the Auchentoshan.
Auchentoshan.
Yeah, made actually about 7 miles down the road, just on the outskirts of Clydebank. Yeah. So I'm going to give you a little taste of this to see if it suits your palate. Okay. And when I've poured it, we've got a little jug of water here. So if you could just pop a little bit of water on the top, and what you'll see is the oil dissipate, and that creates all of the lovely flavourful aromas in the whiskey. And then we say sláinte.
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 Oh, wow, that's smooth.
Nectar of life.
Oh, the nectar of Scotland.
Mike, this is the Cameron Suite. Let me show you in. After you.
Oh, wow. So this is the top signature suite?
It absolutely is, yeah. So as you can see, just straight ahead here is your bedroom area. Boast the views of Loch Lomond.
And I'm right, Obama used this room.
You are absolutely correct, yeah. He was here and he loved it very much.
Yeah. I'm not surprised. It's cozy, isn't it?
It is very cozy, a lovely sort of intimate space down here.
Yeah, kind of the scale for this age of property.
Yeah, absolutely, that's correct. And a lot of our suites have been designed by Scottish artists, including the headboard here, which is a Timorous Beasties design, and the throws on all the beds are Johnsons of Elegance. So we've got some really lovely Scottish artists here that have helped design the suites.
I can't stop touching this.
I know, it is gorgeous,
yeah.
But the wow factor of this suite is actually, it's over 2 floors. So I'm going to just show you up there just now.
There's more up there.
Absolutely. So this is the entertainment area of the room.
Oh boy, this is unexpected.
It really is, isn't it? So obviously this allows for, you know, private dinners up here, or you can just enjoy the luxury and the comfort of the room depending on if you're here as a couple or here as a family. You know, we get quite a lot of wedding parties here as well, which is really lovely that, you know, all types and variations of stays can enjoy this suite.
And this glass insert, it's genius.
Yeah, so this was actually installed so that the guests could enjoy the architecture of the building, and it also gives panoramic views of Loch Lomond and also of the Arden Hills as well.
So not all suites are like this on the property?
No, they're not all like this. We do have bedrooms and suites in the main house, and then also we've got 115 different lodges as well. So Mike, surprise for you, but this is your suite for this evening.
No.
It is, absolutely.
First Obama, now me.
Of course, enjoy.
This is very special. On the loch,
the lowlands, the highlands, the history, the whiskey, the outrageous Scottish accent. Cameron House is all about celebrating everything that is Scotland in style.
What better place to appeal to all the senses than Napa Valley? And at the Alila Hotel, you get it from sight and touch to taste and smell, all there in your experience.
In historic St. Helena lies a beautiful resort that encapsulates everything that is Napa Valley. From culinary, culture, art, they have it all.
We selected this location because of its proximity to Napa Valley's original Main Street, which is here in St. Helena. We really intended to highlight that contrast between the old Napa and the new Napa. This home was built in 1905 and has a lot of history. Over the years, it's had many iterations, including a home, a bed and breakfast, and even a hospital at one point with 32 rooms, if you can believe that.
I also heard there's a rumor.
Yeah, there is a rumor floating around. I can't confirm or deny it, but at one time it's rumored to have been a brothel frequented by our neighbors, the Beringer brothers, who actually owned the historic Beringer estate. Over the years, I guess they've brought a lot of business to this area.
Oh, wow. I also noticed that the winery butts up right against the property.
Exactly. So we're sitting right on Beringer's home vineyard, which is producing wines right now that are scoring in the 90s. Our guests can walk or cycle to the most historic and prolific wineries in Napa.
Wow, look at this room. I just feel like such a tranquil vibe.
Everything that we did with the design in this room was meant to have you experience this sense of well-being. We worked really hard with our architect firm, Jabu Puschelberg, to really bring the outdoors in, using a lot of natural and muted tones, as well as some beautiful materials that are imported from Italy.
And I noticed that the bathrooms are very special too.
They are. A lot of hotels, bathrooms can be a little bit of an afterthought, but here the bathrooms are very intentionally designed. The wood, the stone, and the marble all were installed by hand by the Italian artisans who made them. And even the linens on the beds are Rivolta Carmignani, which is an Italian maker.
I want to jump right into it and never get out.
Well, you could do just that. Actually, this blanket is a 100-year blanket made in New Zealand with wool that's made to last a century.
100 years is maybe a little too much.
Alila as a brand actually means surprise in Sanskrit. And that element of surprise should be woven into every experience that you have while you're here, to tie you back to have that sense of place that we're in.
I definitely feel like I'm in Napa Valley.
So I like to think of this space as the heart of the resort. We very lovingly renovated this historic home.
Yeah, for something that was built in 1905, it feels very fresh and updated. But I love how you kept some details like the stained glass windows. And this is a great take on a coffered ceiling. It feels so fresh and inviting.
Additionally, we really like to highlight our local farmers and the producers, as well as our chef's garden and everything that we do, both our dishes in the kitchen and our cocktails.
And I heard that you're known for a very specific cocktail.
And that's our Mexico City margarita. This margarita has really developed a bit of a cult following among the locals. The locals are honestly a little bit up to their ears in wine, so this margarita gives them a bit of a reprieve from that and a chance to mingle with our guests.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh my God, that's so good.
Welcome, Brian, to Spa Alila.
It smells so great in here. What is that?
Oh, I love how you've connected with the scent, because we really do pride ourselves here at Spa Alila by incorporating the beautiful botanicals that are in our surroundings from our biodynamic farmers. Things like lavender and St. John's wort and calendula into our treatments that are just highly customizable for our guests. We're so proud of our community that we bring it right here to property. From our Art in the Barn experience, which brings our local studios to display their beautiful, renowned art, to create a beautiful gallery for our guests while they sip champagne and really enjoy that connection. We also bring in our Scent of the Valley experience.
Oh wow, Scents of the Valley, what's that?
Scents of Napa Valley are really beautiful, from rose, neroli, lavender, peppercorn, and you're really exploring these essences and creating your own beautiful custom essence to take with you, so you have a scent of place long after you've left Alila Napa Valley.
I want to thank both of you for such an amazing day. Unfortunately, I only had a day to be here, but I feel so connected to Napa Valley.
Brian, we look forward to welcoming you back very soon.
Well, cheers to that.
Cheers.
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 Much like a stroll through a quaint village, the experience of staying in a boutique hotel allows you to really experience the finer details, right down to the lighting and the food. And Alhambra really nails that.
We all know of a place like this from our childhood. Endless summers, carefree days. Chicard Bay, here on the Croatian island of Lošinj, is one such place. Eva, you're from the capital, Zagreb, but you come here often, don't you?
I've been coming here my whole life, not only myself, but also my parents and my grandparents. I've learned how to swim here. My kids learned how to swim here. It is a magical island.
So what makes it so special?
There's something in the air here. It's the most beautiful scent of pine trees. It is the aerosols from the sea, the most wonderful herbs that we have here on the island. And the blend is just pure magic.
Sarah, these are beautiful old villas. What era are they from?
They are dating back to the late 19th century, built by Austrian architects for the Austrian aristocracy. And they came here to come to enjoy the beautiful climate of island of Lošinj.
Well, that hasn't changed.
Absolutely not.
So these villas are part of the hotel complex. You can stay in them.
Yes, it's a part of a beautiful boutique hotel. We just recently renovated it, and we are part of small luxury hotels of the world. And you can enjoy here this beautiful old world charm with the elegance on our beautiful island.
Fantastic. And the company that did the renovations, they're like over 70 years old?
Absolutely, yes. They are 75 years old company, which is one of the leading hospitality company in Croatia. Boutique Hotel Alhambra has 51 rooms and suites, a beautiful spa, a Michelin-starred restaurant, a beach with the beach club, and of course the beautiful crystal sea.
Yes, I think that is perhaps your best asset.
Absolutely, yes, plus the beautiful healthy pine trees.
Hi Mike, welcome. Please try our healthy coffee with no caffeine.
No caffeine?
No, not at all. We welcome our guests with this chicory coffee that we make with honey, cinnamon and ginger, and it's also good for people who don't like caffeine.
Okay, because people have been coming to Lošinj for a long time, haven't they, for health reasons? It's the island of vitality.
It is. It all started a millennium ago when ancient Romans started to come. They had their spas here, but our health tourism officially started over a century ago when Austro-Hungarian monarchy started it.
Okay, and I understand there's something special about the air here.
There is. So Mike, I would like you to try our inhalation bar. It is a unique treatment to our Cube Spa Alhambra, so please take a few deep breaths for me. And
okay.
Don't be scared. Trust me, I will tell you all about it now.
All right, I guess people have been doing it for hundreds of years.
Oh, they have, definitely.
What's in it?
Inside we have boiled seawater with our 4 precious plants. They are pine, myrtle, rosemary and sage. Specifically because of the dense pine forest on the island and the mineral-rich sea, we have this brilliant, brilliant quality of hair that we are breathing.
Wow, it must be really good for conditions like asthma.
Oh, it definitely is. So people are coming to our island, to Lošinj, for over a century now to get better. So it's great for asthma, bronchitis, any kind of respiratory problems and allergies.
Dean, you were the lighting designer for Alhambra Resort.
No, Mike, I was in charge of the lighting for the entire Chicat Bay Resort, including all the hotels, villas, landscaping, and public lighting.
Wow, so basically everything that I'm looking at here.
Everything that you're looking at, yes.
The brief just got a whole lot broader.
Yes, it was quite challenging. For example, this pathway we're walking on, you see these little white lines in between the stone?
Yeah.
This is just to give you a sense of direction of where you are walking. But the real story of lighting comes from this pole in here, where we have 5 reflectors. This one is just illuminating the edge and some of the rocks in the water, and the rest of them are used to light up the green vertical surfaces of the trees that you see.
Wow, that's very theatrical. It's like lighting up a cathedral ceiling.
Exactly, that's the whole point.
Now, Michael, you're a Michelin star chef, and look at you, you're so young.
Yeah, I'm still 28. When I came on the island, I was 25 and try everything with my team, and yeah, finally we got it.
You nailed it. And I'm gonna guess that it's seafood that's mainly on your menu.
Yeah, look at the surrounding, look at the water.
And this is how you do it?
Yeah.
Hey, Mike.
Ciao. Kako si?
Dobro, ti isto. Yeah.
Wonderful. Yes. What you got today for me?
I bring 3 lobsters.
Wonderful. Can I see them?
Yeah, sure.
Lobsters? Wow, look at those big boys.
Marco, thank you. I'm gonna take them.
So, Michael, how does a boy from Austria end up on the island?
Yeah, it was time to fly. And yeah, after all of that, I got an invitation from Alhambra, and I came over to see the venues and the local producers. And yeah, after all of that, I fell in love, and that's why I'm here.
Working with ingredients like this, I'm not surprised.
Enjoy.
Fala.
Fala.
Wow.
Isn't it wonderful?
I think I'm beginning to see why you like this place so much.
I'm so happy that you got to see why I'm in love with this island.
I mean, look at those people down there. They've just jumped off the pier into the water. You know, it's that kind of place.
I want to be them right now.
Listen to you, like not eating lobster. You're never happy.
Poor us, poor us.
Poor us. The island of Lošinj and the boutique hotel Alhambra are a true hidden gem to the broader international market. But if I were you, I think you should come here soon.
Charleston is one of my favorite cities because of the size. It's human scaled, and this building is such a great example of that idea.
How do you capture genuine Southern hospitality right here in the heart of Charleston while delivering on an extraordinary hotel experience? We're about to find out at the French Quarter Inn. David, tell me about the architecture here. What's unique about it to the city of Charleston?
Well, the city of Charleston is unique in the fact that the buildings have these tall, thin buildings that face the street. That's because the lots are with the small side to the actual face of the streets and the long side to the rear. They did that so that everyone could have an address and they could fit here on top of each other. So the proportions of the buildings are kind of tall and skinny, and you'll see that in the windows and all the ornamentation, especially here in the French Quarter. You see a lot of it.
Well, one of the great challenges of architecture is to make the project really fit well within its environment that it's going to go in.
Yeah, and Charleston is no exception. You know, with the history that we have here, trying to put a modern building in a historic setting is a super challenging thing to do. And you know, we have Historic Charleston and Preservation Society that rate you basically on if you've done it successfully or not. We also have to go through the Board of Architectural Review. And here we had a kind of a long site that was actually broad to the main street, which is Market Street. So in order to achieve that, we had to create vertical proportions so that it feels like skinny buildings and not one long building.
Carlo, it's every architect's dream to work with a grand staircase like this.
Indeed. It's one of our grand features of French Quarter Inn, and really a lovely mix of Southern influences, but a lot of European influences, and you'll see that throughout the hotel.
Now this feels like a very unique lobby space than what I'm used to. I feel like you could really strike up a conversation here with your fellow guests.
And that's exactly what we want. Throughout the day, we have various inclusive food and beverage receptions. We have a lot of our services and programming built around this space where strangers become friends and friends become family. And a lot of that is done because of the design.
I love all these touches here that make this feel like a historical property. But in reality, this is not a historical property, is it?
No, it's not. We wanted to find a way to blend old world and European charm with some Southern unique touches, but still have a hotel that fits the modern day traveler.
So it's almost better this is not a historical property, because in that case, you would not get this colossally sized room.
We have a variety of different types, many with full suites and separate sitting areas, as well as their own private balconies and patios.
And I love all these homey touches around here. I mean, look at all those pillows.
We actually have a 7-pillow menu, all different types of firmness and comfort. It's been an amenity of the hotel since we opened, as we know that sleep is really such an important part of the hotel experience. So we have a lot of different options to provide that.
This one is just right. Carlo, look at this weather. Is it always this nice here in Charleston? This is a perfect day.
We're very fortunate that most of our days are perfect days in Charleston.
You know, I've had such a cozy and comfortable stay up there in my room, but I love coming out here to these communal spaces and sharing my experience with the other guests.
And that's what Southern hospitality is all about, and we're glad to have that. But don't forget, just on the other side of this wall, there's a rich tapestry of culture and history to experience here in Charleston.
Well, cheers to that.
Cheers.
This story just reminds us how important it is to preserve heritage. I'm impressed by how the designer continues to bring life into this hotel, really inspired by its past.
This is Mackinac Island in northern Michigan, and this is how they get around here. Cars never got a foothold. In fact, they were banned over 120 years ago. But this is not the main story here. I've come to enjoy the iconic Grand Hotel.
Grand Hotel opened July 10th, 1887. 600 craftsmen built this hotel in 93 days.
Whoa, 93 days?
Working 24 hours a day. It's supposed to be gone in 90. We'll give them a little bit of extra time today, 93 days.
And there was another hiccup, wasn't there?
There was a couple, but the one big one is when Charles Caskey was paying double wages to attract these men to come work. A few people would have lied on their resume, didn't really know how to read a ruler or swing a hammer. And so about halfway through, he contacted the owners and said, you'll only need to accept it as is if you want it in 90 days. It might not be plumb, might not be square, but it'll stand the test of time.
So it's always been a hotel?
Attracting guests from all over the upper Midwest and now all over the United States. And it's really generational, where families come year after year, grandparents bringing their children, and now great-grandchildren, to experience Grand Hotel on Mackinac Island.
David, did I read somewhere that this is the longest porch in the world?
It is the world's longest front porch, 660 feet from end to end.
Mad. Why so long?
Well, when we were built in 1887 in this beautiful Victorian style, we wanted to bring people outside. That's why they came to northern Michigan and to Mackinac Island, is to get these beautiful breezes that you're here and sitting outside in this wonderful weather.
Oh, I guess when it was built, it was way before air conditioning.
Way before air conditioning, but we had natural air conditioning.
And listen to that. That's the sound of the 1880s.
Yes, it is. Horse and carriage, the way we operated back then is the same way we do today.
But that's all the history. There's an ongoing design story here as well.
There is. Dorothy Draper and Company joined us in the late 70s, and they have transformed this hotel into America's summertime place of beautiful designs and bold colors and stripes and flowers.
Because it's not a museum, is it?
Absolutely not. It's a living, breathing building that changes every year, slightly, something new, something different every year.
Rudy, you head up the interior design team. Now, I don't envy your job because there must be people who just don't want anything to change.
Yeah, so there are people who have come for generations that love everything as it is. So it's a fine line between keeping true to Grand Hotel as well as fresh for today.
And I know you're based in New York, but from what David's telling me, you must have a history with the Grand.
Yeah, so I grew up coming here with my family, so it's so special to get to work on it. We have such a great understanding of both the island as well as Grand Hotel and what makes it so special.
There must be always work to be done here.
Like any old summer cottage, there's always something to do. And there's something really terrific we've just done that I'd love to show you.
Oh, please.
This is the cupola bar. It is original to the hotel, 1887, but was open air. So staff would come up and could see guests coming across the Straits of Mackinac and would go to collect them at the docks and bring them up.
So it wasn't even meant for guests?
Not for guests, until for the hotel's 100th anniversary in 1987, it was enclosed to create the cupola bar. So the real goal with the design of this was that it transitions well from day to night. During the day, we have things like the more garden-like chairs, the trellis work, and it's as if you're under a tent.
And then you have this.
So the chandelier was designed in 1987 for the space and made in Italy. This summer, we then added the 4 sconces and designed them to match.
Now the question is, those people that don't want things to change, what do they say about this space?
Yes, so far we've gotten nothing but great feedback from guests. And that's really what we enjoy seeing, is guests bringing their families and coming to Mackinac Island.
And this is the presidential suite. Not that you have to be a president to stay here, but many have.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Ford, Clinton, and both President Bushes, to name a few. This is an area of the hotel that is the original hotel that was built in 1887. So this is an area, as architects, we touch very lightly. It does get refreshed now and then by our interior team in terms of carpet, paint, wallpaper, but for the most part, the architecture stays the same.
Right, and you're not the original architects from 1887, but not far off, actually. You've been working on this for years.
Decades, yeah. We know this hotel very well from top to bottom. Every year we get involved in another project because it's very, very important for the hotel to evolve, to stay relevant for our guests. But the most important thing is out here, outside the presidential balcony, is the iconic front porch of the Grand Hotel.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how you sleep at night. You're tinkering with history here.
It's a huge responsibility that we love. When you're dealing with something so iconic as the Grand Hotel front porch, everybody's watching what you do. So it's very significant to get it right. We take it extremely seriously.
And I'm very honored by it.
Yeah, extremely honored. It's a wonderful thing as a preservation architect. You dream of a project like this that you can devote your life to.
Why do you think this team works?
Well, I think we all bring something different to the table, whether it be personal, professional, operational. We bring something to make Grand great.
What's next?
Well, this parlor that we're sitting in is one of the most iconic parts of the hotel, besides the porch, and we will be doing a refresh this winter.
What, this space? I'm turning into one of those people you have to deal with. I don't want it to change.
Not to worry, we're really staying true to Carlton Varney's original vision of the space, just bringing some new life into it.
Okay, and I have heard, tell me this isn't true, that you're working on the whole facade of the whole building.
Oh, it is true. We're investing a great amount of time and effort, 4-year plan, to restore the whole front facade of the hotel.
We're not talking a renovation here, are we?
Well, we don't renovate a building that's historic. We restore a building that's historic. The prior owners have always said it's always something new and something different at Grand Hotel, and it brings you back every summer, year after year.
There's only 11 wood-framed hotels like this left in the world, so the ongoing restoration is precious work that takes a thoughtful and delicate touch. We hope you've enjoyed our look at some of the hottest design hotel experiences from around America and abroad. Join us next time for more breathtaking design vacation destinations on Hotels by Design. To watch an extended producer's cut of this episode, or to book any of the hotels, resorts or experiences featured in this season, go to bydesign.global.